When scientists talk about the origins of the universe, they're looking at something called the cosmic wave background that is coming from all directions, And that is evidence of the period of time after the Big Bang. A lot after the Big Bang, not right in the beginning, a lot. But in any case, when we see the cosmic wave background, we are looking at the early birth of the universe, approximately 14 billion years ago, or 13.8 billion years ago. The cosmic wave background is after that. It's not right in the beginning. And so the universe was born, if we believe the current theories of Big Bang, etc., in a moment when time began. Let's call it time zero. And it was born from all directions. You say, where did the Big Bang occur? You'll be told it occurred everywhere. And it contained in it the potential for all of time as well. But the bottom line is, what you're seeing in the present, or sensing in the present with all the technology that we have, is something that happened billions of years ago. But you're sensing it, measuring it, and perceiving it in the present. Where? In your own consciousness, in your own awareness. And what are you actually experiencing in your own awareness when you perceive anything, when you look at anything, is a modified activity of your own awareness. Modified activity of your own awareness. And that activity is a sensation. It's a sensation of awareness itself, but it's happening now. So you're experiencing something that happened billions of years ago now. If you were to look for it in the present, in that location, it wouldn't be there. What you're experiencing is a ghost. Now, take that a little further into time. When you look at the night sky, you see some stars that are millions of light years away. Millions of light years away. So they could have exhausted their thermonuclear energy and burned themselves up into the heat death of absolute zero and disappeared into a singularity, but you're still seeing them. What you're seeing is the past. What you're seeing is the past. And that past is millions of light years away. But you're experiencing it in the present. Okay, so let's go to smaller scales. When you look at me, by the time you recognize me, photons have to bounce off me, enter your eyes, go to your brain, and then there's something happening in the brain. And by the time that something happens, what you looked at is already not there. So what you're looking at now, me and this furniture, etc., is not there exactly as it was. By the time you perceived it, it's changed. Okay? So this change is very small. You can't process it in your nervous system. Take a photo of me right now. Look elsewhere. Take another photo of me, and I am not the same body, not even the same mind, because by the time you've taken the photo and looked at it, the me that you looked at has changed a little bit. All you have to do is take your own selfie now, compare it with the selfie you took 10 years ago, and then take another selfie or whatever 5 years from now, and it's not the same person. It's not the same body. It's not the same mind. It's not the same entity. So in every perceptual snapshot is a recreation of experience through memory. When you look at me, you're actually looking at a memory. When you hear me, and if you understand what I'm saying, it's because you understand English, and you might think this is all off the wall or whatever, but by the time those words register in your awareness, they don't exist. They don't exist. Just like right now, your childhood doesn't exist. Your teenagers don't exist. Or yesterday doesn't exist. Or this morning doesn't exist. Or 5 minutes ago doesn't exist. Or 1 microsecond ago doesn't exist. Every act of perception is actually a ghost of memory. We are looking at physical objects, but that's what we think. We're looking at physical objects. We're not. We're looking at perceptual snapshots, and by the time we actually have processed them and even experienced them, they don't exist. So every perception is of the past, but it is now. Every perception is of the past, but it is now. But being of the past, it doesn't actually exist now, even though the sensation is now. So what the heck is going on? Are we all ghosts of memory? Is everything you see ghost of memory? Or you might say a projection of memory as an experience now out there. But there is no out there, okay? All the stars, the Milky Way galaxy, the cosmic wave background, the words you hear, the things you see, the tastes and smells you experience, the sensations you experience, they're all modified, one sensation or the other. And we are constantly experiencing sensations now. But then we compare them with sensations that we have in our memory, and we call that the past. But even those sensations in our memory are experienced now. And when we imagine the future, the images that appear in the consciousness, which are subtle sensations, are now. So there is only now, and yet it is being experienced perceptually and cognitively as past, present, and future. So what is the mystery of time? What is the dark of time? Where is it? Time exists only in consciousness as a mental construct. Time is not real. So what about birth and childhood and teenagers and adulthood and old age and death? These are constructs. These are constructs based on misinterpretation of perception, which in turn is memory. Now, there is only the eternal now. And the eternal now is modifying itself into the experience of what we call past, present, and future as the result of the bubbling up of what we call vrittis, fluctuations of our own awareness. In other words, there is no out there. So what about, we have this James Webb telescope and it's looking at all these stars and it is identifying exoplanets and possibly habitable planets. Yes, they all exist in consciousness alone as dreamscapes. So we are, as body-mind, part of the dreamscape. We are the fictional characters in the dreamscape. And you say, well, is this what Maya is? Is this Maya the veil of ignorance, the magical light that hides the truth of the eternal now, which is the infinite being, which is who we are? And we are dreaming up this whole show, past, present, and future, exoplanets, even the telescopes we send out there, satellites, they're made of the same stuff. And what is the same stuff? Modalities of awareness, combinations of awareness. So all the different lokas that the wisdom traditions talk about are frequency domains of consciousness, ghosts of memory, you modifying itself into infinite universes with all their sentient beings. The sentient beings as body minds or biological organism are ghosts of memory that are observing in turn ghosts of memory. And based on ghosts of memory, actually, and the recycling of that information, we also project the future. So we are the it, not the bit. The bit is the dreamscape, and the fictional characters in the dreamscape, the it is the wholeness of formless being that is manifesting multidimensionally as, according to even some current physics, infinite dreamscapes, infinite universes, infinite versions of you and me. Reality is strange, but it is actually not just strange, it's stranger than we can think, not stranger than we think, stranger than we can think. Because what we call thought is the mystery that creates the entanglement of all kinds of sensations, all kinds of images, all kinds of sense perceptions. Thought is not only entangled with them, but interprets them and thus creates the universe. The universe and multi-universes, infinite universes, if that theory is correct, are all God's dream. We are, at this moment, a character in God's dream. God not as some anthropomorphic entity, but God as the infinite, dimensionless, irreducible, spaceless mystery of our existence. God is right in front of you in this space, right in front, this space right in front of you, this space between galaxies, interstellar space, same space. That space is Chit Akash. Chit Akash. And this current space with its objects, is not Chitakash. It is the closest you get to Chitakash. You can't see this space, but you can experience it because of the objects. If the objects disappear, space would disappear, time would disappear. And you would know yourself as the singularity. You are the singularity that differentiates and morphs into infinite and multiple dimensions. That which is true has no dimensions and also infinite dimensions. And we are that. Tattvamasi, Aham Brahmasmi. Sat Chitananda, truth, awareness, existence. We are the morphogenesis and differentiation of the consciousness of the divine and part of the dream of the divine as body minds, as sentient beings, as biological organisms. But we are not that. We are that which is dreaming, that which is dancing. We are ultimately not even the dreamer, but the potential for the dreamer, the dreaming, and the dream. Reflect on that and see if it makes you freer, or it confuses you, or confounds you, or bewilders you. It's all the same. Bewilderment is a sacred experience, and surrender to this mystery is the only recourse we have.